police and fire departments and our maintenance crews. And we pray, Lord, for the safety and for all the volunteers that help Attica move. And we pray, Lord, that you be with us in the upcoming month and help us to direct Attica in the direction it needs to go and the strength to move it forward. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and, are we live?
Yes.
Go ahead and call the meeting to order. This is Attica City Council 6/8 of 26. Would the clerk please call roll?
Mayor Grant.
Present.
Mrs. Carnahan.
Present.
Mr. Moss.
Present.
Mr. Pointer.
Present.
Mr. Smith.
Present.
Mr. Rotary.
Present.
Attorney Butters.
Present.
No junior
No
council
junior
president.
council members here tonight. I think they're going to be here at the next meeting and we'll recognize them at that time. Has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes from the last meeting?
I have an issue with a statement in the minutes.
Okay.
It's under Ms. Broadwater's area. It says here, Councilman Smith disagreed with Indiana law regarding the authority of a third-class city council person. And I'm not disagreeing with Indiana law. I'm just disagreeing with the way she presented it. And I think that this should be struck from the minutes.
What did you want it to say?
I don't want to say anything
Oh, okay, sorry.
because I think it's being mischaracterized.
Minutes aren't even required under the state of Indiana, just a memorandum of the meeting. So it's irrelevant.
We can take
Well,
it
it's
off.
your characterization.
We can take it off.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
If that's the case,
So
then
with
I
that-
make a
with that
motion,
struck-
I make a motion that we approve the minutes.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes with the strictening of the comment regarding Indiana law. Citizens petitions or concerns. This is the time if you have something you'd like to speak to the council regarding. Before you come up and do that, if you would, please come up to the podium and state your name. And we'll give you 3 minutes to say what you need to say.
Hi, I'm Cindy Mason. I just wanted to bring up Dancing in the Streets, which is to be held June 26th. And I've received requests from the stage people and a vendor if they could come and set up on Thursday, hopefully Thursday afternoon, which would be the 25th, on Perry Street. And I've talked with the chief about that too. So I've asked his permission, and I just want to make sure that it's okay with everybody.
Are they planning to put the stage back in the same place that it was
Yes.
at last year at the
Yes.
corner of Mill and
Perry,
Perry?
yes. Yes. It's my understanding that the porta potties have been ordered.
And they're going in the same location they were last year.
Okay, perfect.
And it'll be delivered that morning,
The 26th.
whatever that Friday is,
Okay.
yeah.
26th.
They don't want to be in the way of all the setup.
And the hours are the same, 5 to 10.
Well, that's
And then
pretty
I'm assuming we'll
Yeah.
have
I think that's okay.
fireworks.
Do we need a
after.
motion for that?
I think it'd be a good idea.
Okay, I'll make a
Then we
motion
go
to
on
approve
record.
that.
Have a motion
I'll
to
second it.
approve that request. And a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Sounds like you're good to go, Cindy.
Okay, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hope to see you all there.
Thank
Oh,
you.
well.
We'll be
We
there.
need volunteers.
I'll check my calendar.
Do we have any other citizens petitions? Anybody else have anything they'd like to speak about?
Yeah, there's a, in the corner, I believe.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Angie Burke, and this is my husband Wes Burke. And we have been hearing some of the concerns that the community's had about the proposal for the EMS. And we think we might have a solution that you guys should at least consider. Wes is passing out some photos. We have the building on the east edge of town, on the old, we refer to it as the old car lot or the old Burke's right across from the storage units. And we did like a rendering of what it could look like if we turned it into an EMS. It's just be the front part, so the whole showroom, which is 3,500 square feet. You can see the rendering on the first page. The second page is kind of a concept layout on what we could potentially do with that space. There's no load-bearing structures in there, so it can be moved around. And then the last page on your little packet is just the current layout of what's there. But I did go through and kind of write down some points on why I feel like you should consider this as an option for the EMS. The first one is the location of this space would be on the east side of the railroad tracks, which I know is a big concern. There is 3,500 square feet of space available to work with. You have direct access to the highway, and it's on the edge of town. You'll have, if the current zoning is consistent with use, would encourage a long-term lease with renewal options. And we would be willing to do like a build to suit, which is basically we would invest the initial capital to do the renovations. We have looked into it, and we can get 10-foot tall overhead doors can be installed in that space, which is the same as the current door in the EMS. The current floor plan can be changed because there's no internal load-bearing walls. We do have existing plumbing to this area, so that would allow for us to add showers, a kitchen sink, laundry. The existing electric service in this building is adequate for EMS needs. And then if this is something you guys are interested in doing, we could start renovations in like 30 to 45 days after we have signed agreement. And then we would estimate the project completion could be approximately 6 months from the start date. So I just feel like it might resolve some of the conflicts that have come up with locations. We aren't really surrounded by neighborhoods.
I think that this is a very interesting proposal, and especially because we've been looking at some different big projects, and a little bit of a concern is the financial stability of those. You're saying that you have the money to do the build out, and you could provide a letter of credit to back it up.
Yeah.
Okay, that's substantial, I think, and it's immediately available.
Right.
How much?
Yeah, how much?
Yeah, that's a big question.
Big questions, how much?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know that like a budgetary number would potentially be like around 5,000 a month. This is.
So about 60,000 a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be what that math would be.
Okay.
So we wouldn't come anywhere close to touching even $1 million, like with the other proposed structure.
Yeah, you gotta think of. So there's 60,000 times X, right?
Yeah.
60,000 times 10, 600.
Benefit to own a building than rent a building, and is the citizens of Attica going to be on the whole amount, or is Fountain County, and that's going to have to be on the.
Well, we've had some discussions with Fountain County, and it does appear that they're willing to potentially kick in half of that, I think.
Who's had
So
discussions with them?
we've had discussions with county council members.
I haven't talked with anybody.
Well, you can pick up the phone and call.
No,
No,
when
no.
you say we, who's we?
Yeah, I
I
was.
have. Me.
Okay,
I have.
That's better.
That's all I was.
Okay.
Um,
Well, you're making it sound like,
No,
Yeah.
hold on. I was just simply asking a question. I am in no way, shape, or form against this.
okay, good.
I was simply asking a question, and I would like to be spoken to appropriately because I'm speaking to you appropriately. That's all I'm
You raised
asking.
your
Okay.
voice.
I guess one other thing too, talking about the place where it's located, we got trouble finding that spot. I mean, this is another option, I guess, that we could look at.
I fully
As far as
support.
building a new, we've got trouble finding that ground to help, and this is on the outside of the edge of town.
I think location wise, it is,
Uh-huh.
it is good. The only thing, that worries me is the
Long-term.
financial side of it. And as Chief pointed out, that's a long-term thing that we're heading into. What we were originally looking at was a grant for about $750,000 to build if on property that we already own. And so we could possibly do that for around $1.1 million, $1.2 million, somewhere in that neighborhood, and we would own it. The conversations that I've had with county officials was they may be willing to kick in utilities and that sort of thing, but I've never heard anybody say that they might be willing to go halves on us. That's kind of news to me.
Well, I think that actually some county officials came up and looked at the building, right?
They
That's
did.
correct?
They
Yeah.
did.
And then there were some
There were
discussions that took place at that particular point in time.
Yeah, and at that time, the county was going to be a part of that payment. It's the same kind of thing you're talking about. They were, I don't remember what the exact breakdown was, but they were anticipating pitching in for the lease payment.
But these funds would have to come out of city funds. There wouldn't be any grant money available to do something like this. This would all have to be built into our budget.
Well, with the grant though, you have to pay prevailing wages for any kind of construction and this is a pittance of that. You know,
Oh, absolutely.
And they're actually willing to pony, it sounds like they're willing to pony up to make it happen immediately. So this is, I believe that this is a real option, a real serious option.
What about maintenance, I guess, and upkeep? Is that something you guys are gonna shoulder, or do we need to?
Yeah, I mean, that's negotiable, but we'd be willing to do that.
I personally think I think it's a good option for us to definitely
I do too.
explore.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure that as a group, that we are all on the same page and we're talking with the same people so that
Sure.
whatever it is moving forward, that we're on the same page.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
I just
So,
wanted to get this,
yeah.
are you guys
I-
know it's available?
Well, I know you and I had talked on the phone before. We talked about purchasing it, and there was several things out there on the line. But I knew we didn't have the money and couldn't use the grant money to do the repairs or changes that needed to be done. So I think this would be nice if we could come up with it and
I think it's really
make
refreshing.
it
Actually,
sustainable.
it kind of made me emotional a little bit because when we're currently dealing with so much of the stuff where you have people that are saying, I want improvement, but I don't want it where I live. I really do appreciate you guys willing to even just come talk to us
Absolutely.
about it and obviously exploring it. So I really do appreciate that.
It definitely gives us an option. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Better
Yeah,
than what
thank you
we've
very
had
much.
before. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
just let us
Thank
know
you.
if any questions come up or we want to talk about this more.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Any more comments or anything on that before we move on?
do you happen to have any way to be able to get a hold of them if we have questions?
Yeah, I've got her number. Because her and I've talked a few times about this.
I'd propose that if we get a chance to tour it, actually to go out and look at it, I think it'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
I would like that. That'd be cool. That'd be nice.
Any other citizens petitions? Anybody else need to address the council?
Denise Routzen, represent Attica Recreation Inc. I wanted to thank the council for being supportive of Attica Rec. We've been working very hard. We have been going after some grants and have heard recently that we have gotten one, but I don't want to announce it yet because we haven't gotten an official paper signed yet for it. We did have a fishing tournament this weekend. Thanks to the wonderful weather we had a low attendance, but we still made very good money this weekend. Had a couple people come that wasn't part of it that came with donations, so that was kind of nice to have. We have projects every weekend this month, either supporting another entity here in the city or raise money, one of the two. But we are collaborating with several others. The Hope Springs is having a 5K run on the 27th, the day after our Dance in the Streets. And we will be hosting a cooling tent in case anyone gets overheated, because we all know the end of June here is unbearable. We also lined up for Dalton County EMS to be on scene with us. So they'll be there in case someone has any issues. So we're still working out the location and they're going to get back with me tomorrow, but just want to give an update that we're moving forward and things are looking good.
Thank you for the update.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
council. Scott Tornquist. What is the definition about golf carts?
Of what's allowed.
Yeah,
It's in our ordinance. We have an ordinance for golf carts. It's pretty well defines that. I don't have it in front of me.
you don't?
Get it?
Answer that for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's-
all the requirements of that,
Oh.
if you'd like me to, Mayor.
Okay,
Our city ordinance states that a driver must be, have a license to the state of Indiana or reciprocating state that recognizes driver privileges. And they must present their proof of insurance to obtain a golf cart permit within inside the city. All three of those requisites must be met to operate a golf cart on city streets.
does that kind of answer your question?
Does that apply to children ages 10 to 13?
Absolutely.
It does?
Yes, sir.
Do they patrol?
I'm sure if they catch somebody underage driving it, they're probably going to get pulled over and get a ticket, but I don't.
Well, I've seen
I'm not a
about,
police officer and I don't.
I've
police
seen
that.
five incidents with children, no more than 12 years of age, with 3 other kids on a golf cart.
Well, that's not legal. I saw some people driving ATVs this weekend and I'm not a police officer and I can't pull them over, but if our police department sees them, they will pull them over
So where are the patrol areas?
all over town.
All over? We're all over town too, and we never see an officer, except one, Blondie.
Please use respect when you're talking about our police officers in public.
Swisher,
Thank you.
didn't know her name,
Okay.
never met her.
Okay. So what
So
are you
what-
asking for and what's your point, Mr. Turnquist?
I just feel that if children are able, without an adult, a licensed adult, why are they driving a car? I feel like I am being singled out, I'm being discriminated against because there's no action taken on these young kids in these golf carts and e-bikes. They go down the middle of the streets. They're in and out, zigging all over the street. Where's the police?
Have you notified the police about these
Time.
instances?
Okay, your time's up, but I'll ask the chief to address your questions regarding underage drivers on golf carts and what happens if they're caught and if we've caught any.
So part of my update on ordinances during my time was going to be, we did, myself and Assistant Chief Askren, were just out of the school prior to us letting out for summer. We went through UTV golf cart laws, e-bike laws, with those state laws as well as ordinance, with ordinances within inside the city to operate those. We handle those golf carts just like we would an unlicensed driver. Oftentimes, we will issue that citation and allow somebody to come with a valid driver's license to retrieve that golf cart. If that cannot be located in a timely manner, oftentimes we have one officer on. We're not going to tie them up waiting for somebody to come get that golf cart or vehicle for multiple hours. That vehicle will be impounded with beetle stowing, just like any other operating vehicle, whether that be an ORV that's not properly licensed operating on our public roadways, a golf cart, or a motor driven vehicle. They all constitute under the same laws.
Is the Attica ordinance a little tighter than the state law regarding this? I started looking into it a little bit. And
There is no state law on reference to operation of golf carts.
Oh, there's not? Okay, I didn't know.
It's all been.
Or not golf carts, but side by sides or anything like that? Or is it all the same?
I mean, we really operate via state law on our off-road vehicles. They can't operate on a public highway. That's state statute. Anybody under the age of 18, that's in an off-road vehicle must have a helmet. That's state statute.
Because I was thinking I might have read something somewhere, and it could have been just a Google search, but I was thinking that I saw where the state of Indiana doesn't require a driver's license, and that somebody that's the age of 16 without a driver's license could actually operate those. But then it's actually pushed down to the local municipality to have an ordinance. And
we do have an ordinance.
Yeah,
that
well, and
covers-
that's, I think, and that's why I was asking the question,
Yeah.
is our ordinance a little tighter than what the state law is? And I don't know that answer. I don't.
So basically, what's the age then they need to be, chief, to drive the golf cart?
16 and
16?
driver's on it.
Must have a valid driver's license.
Valid drivers, okay,
Valid driver's license, they have to present their proof of insurance when they come in to get our city permit,
okay.
and then put that permit on
The cart,
the card, so
Okay.
it's really visible.
it's pretty plain.
Does that also apply to the off-road vehicles with minors driving them?
Minors, people without license are, through state statute, are allowed to operate an off-road vehicle without a valid driver's license, and they have to be under the supervision of a licensed driver to do that. And I think it's actually 15 for an off-road vehicle.
Has there been any warnings or citations on that?
On what?
That can be public access?
On what?
Minors driving side by side.
Oh, I've stopped them personally, but
Do they
this,
need an operator's license to drive those on the streets in town?
the state statute that at the age of 15, it's 15 or 14? 15. That's state statute. You cannot,
On side by side.
on a side-by-side, not a golf cart.
Okay, so there is a difference between a
There is
golf
a
cart
difference.
and a side-by-side. Okay.
Our city ordinance governs golf carts.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
We are following state statute in the operation of.
But we do have an ordinance that covers off-road vehicles driven on city streets.
Correct.
And we don't have to allow them to be driven on city streets. We passed that ordinance so they could. And, if it gets too far out of hand, we could rescind that ordinance and say no more ORVs on,
And we
city
do the same with
streets.
golf carts as
and
well.
we can do the same with golf carts if that gets out of hand.
That should be taken immediately. Because on Perry Street, I've seen it. Consuming alcohol, smoking marijuana. I've seen that.
Okay, your
And
time.
I'm not the only one.
Your time is up, and I appreciate you coming, and we'll go ahead and move forward. Thank you. Is there anybody else that has citizens petitions they'd like to come and speak to the council?
Yeah, I do. My name's Ryan Gustus. I'm here for Debbie Moore, Clyde Moore. They're elderly folks. They're 904 East Main Street. I put a little fence up for them there by the road. Okay, well, they said there was one complaint from it about it, saying it was too high. If anything, it was only an inch too high. They said, the city said, they come talk to us. They said it was all right, really, but they had that one complaint. If that's the case, if from the buildup, from the buildup, and then if that was the case, then I'd only have an inch of fucking fence, excuse my language, an inch of fence sticking up, you know what I mean? So I'm just.
Sir, if I can explain, I think I know what you're talking about. You have a block wall.
Yeah, it's not a
And then
block
above
wall,
the
it's
block wall, he's built a
It's
fence.
not a block wall, it's a 2x4. It's a.
Yeah, there's something
landscape
below
challenge.
it, so it appears to be a lot higher than what it is. I drove by it the other day and I just noticed it.
So they just want to know if they can get clemency, and I was like, I don't even know what that is, but
A variance.
I'm sure they ain't gonna go for it, but I just figured I would come down here and see what I could do, or if I have to take it all down or what.
But you have to get a permit for a fence,
I
right?
got it.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, I did. I
I
just
think
had
the
it.
issue is that his ground's filled up and then he put a fence on it. So it appears higher when you drive by.
Oh, it is.
As the city come in and built that up, I guess, a while back, because I don't know why. Something to do with the water.
Eric Swank is our building commissioner. He's here. Would you like to speak to?
Yes, I had talked with both individuals prior to the erection of this fence. Specified to them the fence could not be any higher than 3 foot in height.
As measured from, did you say where?
The ground level. So unfortunately, in this situation, they have landscape timbers that are built up 16 inches. Then this fence is built on top of that. Even with that being stated, the fence that was assembled on that, the actual fence itself is 48 inches, not 36.
So you're more than an inch off.
Yeah. More.
Yeah, they're 1 foot over the regulated height.
Can you just rip the fence?
I can cut it down a little bit.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
why didn't you just cut it down?
Okay, well, I was just making sure, I was just seeing if I was able to do that and get, and be fine with that or what, before I had to take it all down, because that's a lot of money, so.
Yeah, so somebody needs to see what they think about that with already having 16 inches of elevation off of the height of the street.
Oh, you thought
So
that.
the asphalt
I thought, well,
front
it's built on
is
something, I don't know.
what you consider ground level, and then there's 16 to 17 inches of landscape timber, and then there'll be another 3 foot of fence if they cut down 1 foot.
Do you happen to have a picture by chance?
Ma'am, I don't have.
I'm
I was
sorry,
trying to get-
I
I was trying to get all the paperwork before I come down here, but.
If I remember, it's just a few houses down from the hut.
I've
I
seen it.
know
I just didn't know if
that.
anybody
That's
else
all.
had seen it. Yeah.
Honestly, this question is probably, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this question is probably more of a Board of Public Works and Safety question rather than the City Council question.
Yeah, I think so too.
I agree. Please work with Eric and see if you can come up with a solution. Because he's our building commissioner.
Right.
If you can satisfy Eric, you can satisfy us, and we'll move forward.
All right, well, thank you, guys.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Okay, one more call here. Anybody?
Oh, it's you. Tomorrow or something?
Yep.
Okay, if nobody else has any more citizens petitions, we'll go ahead and move on to department heads. Mr. Swank, you're on the hot seat again.
All right. Miller Pipeline, Centerpoint are continuing to work on their project. Daily interactions, building locates on a weekly basis. The crew that does the site restoration has been mobilized to Attica. So they are starting to pour some sidewalks, do things of that nature. Hopefully all the residents are patient. I'm sure this last rainfall probably didn't help anything because some of the work that they've probably done has been washed away now, especially on the loose fill of the dirt. Also the apartment project, drastically involves a lot more than what was anticipated. Some of the vacant properties that were previously there that are under the asphalt have revealed some individual private water lines that have had to be removed, cut and capped. So we have quite a bit of involvement there on my department side, working with them on a daily basis. Fiber crew, I think they've been out of the area for about a week and a half, 2 weeks now. I think they're returning next week, so. Of course, we'll have more chaos there. That's pretty much everything I have to update everybody with.
I've been fielding several calls about the concrete restoration, and a lot of them are positive. People seem to really appreciate the work that crew's doing and working with them. I know it's not convenient, and I know that it's not easy for them, but they are trying to work with people. And I think in a lot of cases, some of the sidewalks that have been put back are nicer than the ones they tore out, which was always a plus as well. So thank you for working with that. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on. Chief Miller.
Ordinances continue to be in full swing. We'll be seeing multiples in court this month as well as next month. We had multiple hearings last month that are also set out for July. We kind of covered the ORV and golf carts, which was going to be kind of a reminder in the public meeting, as well as a YouTube channel that's been getting a lot of hits. One other quick reminder, our ordinance is in effect that all city parks do close at dark. We've been patrolling those parks, notifying people that, that we've had some nice nights, I understand that, but our parks tend not to be very well lit, and we tend to have many problems in them after dark. So we have been giving multiple warnings to people that parks do close at dark.
I received a request just today, actually, not a request, but a question about the ability to night fish on the Wabash. And my response was that we don't enforce fishing laws, obviously, but we do enforce overnight camping at the riverfront. And I think sometimes there's probably a fine line between, hey, I'm down here fishing, and hey, I'm going to spend the night down here. But is there any, and maybe this is a question for the council, is there any appetite to give leeway to people who are just down there fishing late at night rather than, because if the park closes at dark, that means you're not going to fish at night. And I don't know that may be a little too restrictive.
So, I mean, and we incorporated this ordinance into our ordinances 2.5 years ago. I will tell you that if we come into contact with people that are truly actively engaging in fishing at state law regulated recreation, we let them continue to fish down there. It's just not a congregation. They're engaging in that state
and I like that
regulated sport. We can go down there. They've got bait. They've got fish poles in the water. They've got lights set up there on the bank, and we come back through there later. They've cleaned up their stuff and they've taken their fish or put their fish back, and they moved on. But as long as they're involved in that state regulated sporting adventure, we allow them to fish, and we just tend to. It's very noticeable whether they're down there fishing or they're down there.
Sounds like a non-issue, really.
It does. But this person said the reason they reached out is because they were night fishing and got run off essentially. And I just wanted to verify.
I just watched the video the other day of
Okay.
our officers coming in contact with some night fishers.
Maybe on the side
They
of
were
the
told to have a good night. So.
Good deal.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I said. Yeah,
That's what
All right. So we believe that's a non-issue. Is there anything else, Chief? Chief Little.
I just got two things. One, I'm currently working on a grant for a boat for this soon-to-be kayak kiosk going up. As we all know, anybody can rent the kayaks. Someone may not be experienced in kayaks and the way the river is. We get calls quite a bit. Last year, we just had a drowning when the water was only a foot high, and the guy dropped off in the river, not knowing the river. So working on a boat for that. I'm also working with 5 other fire departments to get some swift water training out to them. I am a water rescue technician myself. So we're working on getting some other departments trained up along with our guys that will be coming up here within the next month. And hopefully we'll be prepared as best we can, because it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So it will happen.
Where would you put the boat at?
We have a storage shed on Eric's property down there. So,
okay.
it's not going to be anything spectacular, but it's going to do the job. So, and that's all I care about. So, the other thing, Mr. Mayor, if you're okay, we can kind of jump ahead to new business, talk about the Wayne Township.
Yeah, I was going to suggest while you've got the floor, if you want to bring that up, that'd be great.
So this contract was put in place once we became a fire territory. Davis Township was always kind of hard to get money from. And part of them to sign off on the township was for us to continue giving a little bit of money to West Point, who does make calls over this way. So we agreed to it. So that's what this contract is, just basically, we're still stating that we'll give them X amount of dollars to help cover. With this SB1 bill going in effect, that means our revenue is going to be coming down, or our budget, sorry, not revenues, our budget will be dropping a little bit. So I will be, after this year, talking to Wayne Township and negotiating the price. Because now that we have people on staff Monday through Friday, or sorry, 7 days a week, actually, during the day, the West Point Fire Department is making less calls than Davis Township. So if you look at the run totals and how much they were getting paid to where I think they should be getting now, it will drop for them. And then that money going to us to help buy the equipment that we need, that we're making those calls. We're beating them by 5-6 minutes on these calls anyways, so a lot of times they're not needed anymore. So I'll be working on that myself, just but I wanted to be here in case you guys had questions. I know it was brought up last month, but.
And we tabled it last
Yeah,
month.
in case there's questions, I want to be here so I can give you proper information, so people aren't just making things up.
And these are fire territory funds. These aren't city
These aren't city
funds.
funds. Nothing that the fire department does with any kind of budget is city budget. It's all fire territory budget, so. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. If not, then that's all I have.
Anybody?
Thank you.
So this will need your approval. I mean, I can talk with them. I'm sure it'll be fine to approve it next month, since nobody's really prepared this month to approve it.
Do we need to make a motion, or
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to make a motion eventually.
do we know what the amount is?
It's $15,000.
Covered by the fire territory.
Covered by the fire territory, not the city. The only reason why the city council has to approve it is because the fire department, Attica Fire Department, is still owned by the city. The only thing that's changed is how we receive our funds. So you guys still have to agree to go into this contract with Wayne Township for that funding. That's the only thing that's why you have to approve it, so.
I don't see any reason for it. Let's just go ahead and approve it.
I make a motion, we approve the 15,000.
Yeah, I second it.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
You're good to go. And if you want to bring it by, I can sign it.
We'll get that taken care of, and I'll give it to the clerk as far as payment goes.
Okay.
So,
Great. Thank you, Chief. Is there anything else?
that's it.
This is Broadwater.
I don't have anything to present.
Okay, we got the committee reports coming up, and I see the WeGo director is here tonight. So if you'd like to give us an update, that'd be great.
Yeah, well, one thing we're wanting to do is we're wanting to see if you'll make a motion to extend our contract for another year. And I know that it's not budgeted for the last 6 months of the year, but if we could possibly get that at the beginning of January 2027. We have a contract that we're getting ready to, we're working on all of the finalized wording for everything with IEDC for the market, and we have the constructions and the state permits and everything are being approved right now for all of that. So we're hoping that foundations will go in this summer, and they'll start working. Hopefully they'll be done and everything, and they'll be able to go into the inside of the WEGA building, also into the inside into some of the market, hopefully this winter. So, but we were wanting to see if you guys would extend the contract for another year. So we can get finally started on all of this, since we finally have a contract to start breaking ground.
Have you talked about a dollar amount that you would like for that contract to include? Are you thinking the same thing that we've been paying, or?
We want an extension of the current contract. We're not asking for any increased funds. So literally, we can use the contract that's in place now, use the city attorney, or we could have one of our attorneys drop an extension to that contract. Same terms, same responsibilities, same.
We don't have obviously we don't have the budget done for 2027 yet, but I guess the council could discuss and agree in principle if we wanted to try to build that into the budget and include that contract for next year.
It's food and beverage, right?
No.
Or if it comes out of local income tax, which is what is going way under Senate Rule Act 1, and the other portion comes out of food and beverage. The only person sitting here, other than Dwayne, who was mayor, is Kaylee, that was on the council when those contracts were discussed, and they were specifically project-based. We were not paying them just to partner with them. They were strictly contract-based, And there were milestones that had to be met within those contracts in order for the funding to continue. So I've got copies of all the contracts. I'm more than happy to send all the contracts out to each of you, because other than Dwayne and Kaylee, none of you were involved in any of the initial.
It'd probably be better for everybody to have a
negotiations.
chance to look everything
I
over.
think so, yeah.
Larry, does that, I know we didn't have the other 6 months of this year budgeted in. Are they wanting that money as well?
No, they're not asking for the money for the next 6 months.
Okay,
But they're wanting it included in the 2027 budget
yeah, for the full year.
for the full year
Okay.
next year.
So,
Yes.
Brian, we talked a little bit about that. Do you think would we go want to take a crack at a contract?
Again, we're not asking for a new contract.
Just an extension on the
We're
one.
asking for a one-year extension. We
Mhm.
want the current contract in place. We're not asking for any changes. You can do a simple, perhaps maybe we can consult the city attorney, but I would assume we can do an extension of any contract in place.
The existing contract did have, and I don't have it in front of me, obviously, but it did have some milestones in there. So are there new milestones, or, and that would be my concern, that we know what we're getting for that contract
I
extension.
guess what milestones we're gonna hit
Yeah,
during the year of that
I thought that
contract.
we could discuss this pretty heavily 2 months ago in our meeting. You know, I gave you a list of, I believe it was somewhere around $54 million worth of development has been planned and funded. We have over 170 housing starts. We have over $7 million committed to rebuilding our downtown. We've taken on a new building downtown. I am a little confused here. We had so much support last meeting, I'm not sure what's changed.
I think you
don't
still have the
know that
support. I think that
anything's changed.
Joanne's just making a point that the last contract was very project-based. And so I think she's just bringing a legitimate point that maybe we need to.
It is legitimate. My concern would be this. We brought this 2 months ago, and you're saying that it's how did you describe it again, Joanne?
That the contract that's currently in place that expires the end of June was project-based. It basically
Project-based.
stated the market was going to be complete and up in operation by a specific date.
So that helps. So it's project-based, but then you didn't bring the project, so I don't know what to talk about, is my concern.
I think the market was the project.
Okay.
Which we didn't have a contract with IEDC until just now, so.
and we know that.
And we
Right.
couldn't break ground without that, or
Right.
we are liable.
No, but that's what the money that's already been
Yeah,
paid,
yeah.
that's where that money, that's the project that money was to
And
go
that,
towards.
and so we do still have that money that you paid into that, and then that grant is reimbursable. So what'll happen is, we'll send in our.
Front the money.
Yeah, the invoices, and so we have to have money to reimburse that to keep that project going and everything. So that's the only reason we want it. If we don't want it, you guys can have it. I mean, we don't want to keep anything that's not.
I don't think
I'd like to-
anybody's against it.
I do want to
Not
say
at
this.
all.
I don't want to speak for
You know,
these
WEGA
guys, but
has- WEGA has major ongoing responsibilities and financial responsibilities with all of these projects. And these bills come in, you know, just like any budget. But we do have some major responsibilities that we've incurred for the city. So
Insurance,
do keep that in mind.
liabilities.
I'm not aware, you know, I did read that contract a couple of months ago, and I don't recall that. Doesn't mean it's not in there, I probably just missed it. But I did review that before we came to the last meeting, and I don't recall anything project-based. My understanding of our contract, my understanding of a contract between WEGA and the city council is to do economic and community development work. That's my understanding of the contract, which I think we do very heavily.
So.
If you want to discuss the fact that things are not getting done as fast as people would like to see them, I mean, I would agree. And we can have
I
that
think the
discussion.
only thing Joanne's saying is that we just need to have a contract that's more fitting for moving
Yes.
forward.
Yes.
I think that's the only thing she's saying.
Yes,
I
that's
agree.
exactly it. I don't
I
think
think
the
that's a good way to
contract
put it.
that's in place will do what you need it to do.
And that's good, we're fine with that.
Yeah.
Where we came, I mean, we would have preferred to write a new contract. We started this a few months ago, and the reason we came to this point is we thought it would be easier for the city, considering the budget concerns that were so prevalent over the last few months, we made a decision to make it easier on the city rather than to do a whole new thing and a whole new commitment, to just ask for a 1-year extension to let the city work on some of their budget concerns. Because truth be told, the work we're doing, a 1-year budget or a 1-year contract is not nearly long enough. I mean, we've got major multi-million-dollar commitments out there, and these things do take time. Normally, as our experience is, they take much longer than we wanted them to, because they're very difficult.
Am I wrong in saying that the city council, us as a group, would like to move forward with a contract with WIGA for the 26-27 year? And I'm looking more towards you guys because we won't be here
It's
for
just for
that.
27.
Or 20, sorry, 27, sorry. Sorry.
So I personally love what they're doing, and as long as the dollars make sense, I'm good with it. But
So we can go ahead and move forward with trying to build that into the budget for 27. And once a contract is submitted, then we will hopefully
from
move
there.
forward with that.
work with it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sounds
how do you-
good.
how do you
Is that a
guys feel?
safe statement?
Yeah,
I think
put it
so.
in the budget, and we'll see what the
We'll
contract
work it
is.
into the budget, and that way the money's there, and when, if and when we sign the contract, then we're good. We've got the money to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Do either one of you want to speak to your acquisition that happened the last couple of weeks?
Go ahead, Brian.
We get with the owners of what I call the index building, that now is called the Bare Necessities Building, and the small building to the south. Those owners donated that to WIGA, and we took ownership of that about a week ago. The building currently has an unsafe building order placed on it that we are working very hard to remove that. Our real goal with that building would be first and foremost to make it safe, make it structurally sound. We've got insurance in place on the building. We've put an exterior fence up around it. Eric and I actually saw one thing down there that really did bother me that I think is unsafe, just from a walking down the sidewalk standpoint. So we have that fenced off. We have a structural engineer coming in tomorrow. I thought it was Wednesday. So
It is Wednesday.
Is it
I thought
Wednesday?
today was Tuesday.
This week we have a structural engineer coming. We're gonna walk through it with him. And WIGA has asked for basically a report and then kind of a 2-phase plan. Phase 1 just being safety and, solid. And then phase 2 being, what would the plan be to totally renovate the exterior, the roof, the foundation, make a very solid building, and then kind of an empty shell on the inside, and then determine on what to do with this building. But I think our goals here are not necessarily an end result. Our goals here are public safety, saving some historic buildings if we can. I'm kind of 100% all in. I'll do about anything it's gonna take to save these buildings. It's probably gonna cost more money than the value of the buildings, but I think the historical aspect, if we can find grant money, if we can find outside sources where it doesn't come from a local tax base, I think it makes a lot of sense. I just think that's a portion of our history we want to save, that particular block. We've torn down a lot of buildings. I think we're all tired of that. And I just think they're a good candidate to save. Again, I don't think the city is 100% there yet. We've got some things to learn, and I'm pretty sure the WIGA board is not 100% there, but I think most people will save them if we can do it. And then once we get something solid in a shell, then maybe that's something we can market to a developer or do something with ourselves, we don't know. But they didn't cost us anything, and they were gonna end up in the city's, they were gonna end up in a bad situation. They were gonna end up in a tax sale, they were gonna end up the city condemning them, something like this. So this just gives us a shot.
I think this gives us our best shot of
Definitely.
saving these buildings and stabilizing them. Like Brian just said, I think that the future probably for those buildings wasn't good if WIGA didn't take them over. So thank you guys for stepping up and doing that. I personally appreciate it.
Yeah, they never would make it otherwise, so appreciate it.
And we're glad to do it. Those are the kinds of things that we want to do. We're excited about doing. We love doing them, and we think they're very important.
So I just want to be clear, because Brian, we had talked a little bit on the proposal a couple of months ago, and in my mind, I was thinking that you guys were working on that. But who controls that proposal? Do you guys want to do it and bring it back to us, or
Which proposal?
WICA contract?
the WICA contract? Yeah, do you guys want to do that and bring it to us, or?
I'd like to ask the city attorney what we should do.
I don't remember what the conditions were in the last one, to be honest with you. If there were milestones or if it was project-based and this is not gonna have those in it. I hear what you're saying about the same amount and might need a bigger description of the services that would be provided or that they could, assess.
My question would be, would you prefer to write that contract and have the city do it? Or would you prefer we get all that up? That's my bigger question.
It's easy to do with what's already there. I just need that language about the services to be provided, and I am assuming that the money would stay the same and how it gets paid.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's easier for you guys to fill in the blanks though, because you guys
Here's
are
what
living
we're
it.
proposing to do.
Yeah, okay.
I think Judd and I could communicate on
Sure.
that.
Okay.
That works.
Okay, good.
Okay. Park Board, Jerry Matter, do you have anything for us?
Well, a lot of different things are happening that are positive for the community. People reaching out to us and wanting to volunteer. We could always take a lot more volunteers. So anybody wants to come on Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, most Friday afternoons, we have work sessions at the Ravine. Just show up, we'll put you to work. But if I know you're coming, I'll have enough equipment for you. Now, what we were doing is based on our 5-year plan that came from surveys last year. And the big push in our survey was actually threefold. The first is trails. The second is parks, equal measure. And the third was services. Now, what's happening with Rec Inc. is that its focus is on services. And that's a vital and useful thing that's happening now because of Rec Inc. Now, we are working primarily on facility. So you'll see in the parks that the equipment is getting surrounded by black little walls. That's so that mulch can go in, so there'll be a safety mulch so that if kids fall, they're less likely to get hurt. So that's going citywide. Additionally, we're painting all the equipment before we put in the mulch so that there won't be unsafe trying to be on ladders and whatever to do that. So all of the equipment will be refurbished. The 2 playgrounds that were donated to the city, well, to the city and the park board from the school, they came to us free, but it cost just under $50,000 to put them into practice, to put them in place. So one is going up by the garden, the raised garden, that little area where there's for kids, it's all small kids, that whole place that is small kids. So that I talk about it being toddler park. The other one is going to be going into Circle Park. Yeah, they've been running a play set for years and years, and now they're going to get one. So in the process of all of this, with the city having, the mayor having spearheaded putting in a new park in Wabachi, a new playground, we put in for additional funding, which we hope to be able to announce soon, that would allow us to upgrade that facility even more for comfort and for ADA accessibility. That's the one that's down on Wabachi. Other plans that are underway included being sure that all of the pathways were kept mowed and accessible for folks to be able to use that. That was kind of a collaboration with Eric, where he was saying, look, I'll send you some of this money. You guys go ahead and hire somebody because we can't put enough people on machines to get that all cleaned up. So now we have a private company that mows all of the trails so that people can walk the trails and not, get hit with briars and wood all right. So all in all, we feel like we've been pretty busy. We've written several grants, one of them that hit pay dirt and the others that didn't, but you just keep at it. We also are looking at the possibility of, we're looking into a grant for putting a floating dock down at Wabachi. And so, and a pavilion next to the playground in Wabachi, so there'll be shade and comfort for people who are visiting
That'd be really
and
nice.
being there. What I've been noticing and really appreciating, oh, and let's not forget the summer program. So our summer program is underway. This is, it's being really successful. We have between 70 to 100 kids every month. One of the things is kind of something that once was and is back again, is having breakfast and lunch for the kids so that they can, get some good nutrition. But we have any number of people in the community that have been volunteering to do that. We also have the school working with us collaboratively so that the kids can go ahead and go swimming every Friday. We have registered lifeguards as well, so our own counselors are in the pool with them, so there's plenty of safety. And that's been a real big hit for the kids. Additionally, we still have the movie project. That's a real pleasure. The kids really enjoy that. So all in all, it feels like the program is being very successful this year. I think that hits the main points.
Thank you very much.
I
I got
got
a
one
question.
question. Yeah, just one question. You had said you put in for a request and for a new park or something like, or new park equipment. What are you referring to, I guess?
Oh, so the Wabachi Park was put in by the city at about 150,000.
Right, yeah.
And what we were requesting was funding that would allow us to make it a much more handicapped accessible park.
Okay.
And also more comfortable, so it would have shade. Right now, it's kind of smack in the middle, it's really hot. And so we want, we have a pavilion, we'd also have landscaping to help that way. We'll have a sidewalk that goes all the way around, so it's easily accessible, that the wheelchair could roll onto the playground.
Jerry, have you been in touch with the DNR on a grant for something like that? Because they're very ADA motivated as far as anything you do down close to the river. I know that I remember a couple of years ago when we were looking at doing something out the river, but any ADA upgrades, I think you have a good chance of getting some grants through DNR.
Well, thanks for the tip.
Sure.
I know the survey, we were trying to turn that into a proposal for the DNR. So we're a little bit behind on getting that, tying up all the loose ends. It was reviewed. It says you need to make these changes. That's always kind of typical. But thanks for that advice.
Is there a certain amount you're looking for that project work?
That particular project was right at 50,000.
Okay.
And I think I'm very hopeful that that's going to come our way.
Are you expecting the city to fund that, or is that outside?
That's a grant.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to let you know that I'm really big on the parks program and what you guys are doing there. And, if there's any way to where we can find money for you guys, I think that's, we need to try to figure out how to do it.
Well, I appreciate your support. I appreciate the support I get from the mayor and from Eric, where we, this year, the mulching and the purchase of the installment of the two playgrounds, that was a significant amount of money. That was getting close to, it was in 100,000 plus. And a good portion of that came from money that Eric made available to the park, and Joanne worked with me and the mayor worked with me so we could reportion this fund at the very end of the year. And that's why these things are happening.
Awesome.
Great.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's been real good to work with all of them and getting that kind of collaboration so that if there's money that can be found and can be used, we can do something. We'll do that again. Joanne invited Eric. We're going to be getting together in June so that we can maximize funds again, collaborate between the park board and the maintenance from the city, and how the accounts are named, so that we'll have a clearer picture of how much money is actually there for what we're going to do. This is all a real good step forward. I feel like the last year has been very, very productive that way.
It has. Thank you.
I got another question. I've been to the park, and it's all great what we're all doing. Want all the kids down and everything. We need to work on getting the restrooms that are there open instead of these porta potties. I mean, I know it's been an issue, but I think we can get to that point. It's all great. Everybody's wanting to come, but I know I got grandkids myself. If they're there, there's a long ways from that new park you're setting up down at Ravine Park over where that porta potty is over by the park. And most porta potties are not the best places to go into.
Well, point taken. There's I think, we've discussed this idea of how could it get done. One way of opening and closing might be to hire a private concern to do it. Another way might be if there's some kind of collaboration among members of the workforce, could there be duties reassigned? But in times past, that wasn't possible because it was overtime and it couldn't be budgeted.
Well, we're paying something for these porta potties, correct? They're not donated.
That's coming out of park board funds.
Okay.
And which would be still less, I think, than if we hired somebody, but we're looking at, what options we have. That's an active consideration.
No.
Right. So in June, that will be part of what we'll be looking at in terms of budgeting. Because up to now, we did not budget for someone private to come and open and close the restroom. So now we're going to look, what's available? Because it's a high priority for us too.
And then we've looked at, key codes and swipe cards and several different options to try to figure
Time
that
blocks
out.
would be nice too. We've to check in them as well.
The bad thing is kids want to tear them up. And this has happened 3 times now down in Ravine Park at the pavilion. And it costs about $1,000 every time we have to replace a bathroom down there and the fixtures in it, plus the labor to do it. And, I don't care how often the police drive through there. There's too many places down there to hide. It's not well lit enough that, you're going to see kids hiding down behind the pavilion or whatever it takes. And we're looking at some options to deter that. And I won't go into a lot of detail in a public meeting, but we're looking at options to deter that, find out who's doing it.
Yes.
And I guarantee you that this man sitting over here will prosecute him to the whatever it takes because it's not acceptable. Somebody told me they went down there this weekend. There was kids climbing in the rafters at the pavilion, and things like that. Just rent it for everybody. If you've rented the pavilion, we have a key in here in the clerk's office that can be given out to whoever rented it for the weekend or for a Sunday afternoon or whatever, so they can lock and unlock the bathrooms. Park program now has a key in their hand so they can lock and unlock. But unfortunately, we can't trust people well enough to not tear them up, to leave them unlocked 24/7.
No, I understand the
It's sad.
24/7, but daylight hours, I think it would definitely help if they were unlocked.
We're looking for volunteers to go down and lock
Well,
and unlock.
I mean,
There you go.
I'll stay straight up. The city guys come to work, they can go down and lock in the morning, and the night patrol guy lock it up at dark. It's happened before. It can be done.
Maybe we could hire a park ranger. Somebody told me that today.
Yeah, I mean, I just know we want people to come to town. If you go down in the park,
I-
restrooms are locked up. They're maybe not eager to move in.
I get it. I just
Trying to make it presentable.
It'd just be better if people wouldn't tear them up. I'll just
I
say that.
totally agree.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thanks, Jerry.
I had one thing popped in my head for Eric and you, sir. When they start doing the roads, those millings, you might get a hold of the DNR ahead of time in case you want to use some of those millings down at the river. Because a couple of years ago, we used those millings,
I know.
and they're great. They're great for filling in all the holes, but you got to have DNR's permission to do it.
Yeah.
And that'll probably happen because you're probably going to want to fill some holes and stuff.
Eric and I just talked about that this morning.
Okay, good. I just thought of it when we were
At least
talking about that.
one track needs definitely filled down
Yeah.
there. They keep digging it up.
But you can't just go down and fill them
No,
with
I
the
know.
millings because
Put a-
DNR will.
Put a rock there or
Found
something.
out.
Yeah, they didn't like that at all.
A big rock would be real good in that one spot.
Okay, moving on. No junior council here, obviously, tonight. Unfinished business, and I put this under unfinished business because I really didn't know where else to put it. Most of you know we're upgrading our financial software, and that's going to happen in July, which is coming right up. And that kind of causes a road bump with what we had originally talked about with doing sewer credits for the summer on an individual basis. Always before it's been a blanket, we're going to give everybody this credit from X date to X date through the summer, and Joanne can probably fill in those blanks. But the gist of it is that while we're changing software, that may not be our best option for this year. So I'd kind of like to delay that implementation of doing it on an individual basis until next year. Joanne, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I just, we go live on the new software July 20th, and we've been going through conversion since last August. It's not something that we've just started. Me and the clerk staff have spent hours on hours working on this conversion. But during this transition, especially during the few weeks before we go live, we're not going to be able to, we're gonna do a final data extract. It's scheduled for July 13th. They're gonna literally pull everything out of our financial, our utility, and our payroll software. And we're not gonna be able to make any updates in it until after we go live on July 20th. So there's gonna be a lot of transition, pains. We're gonna make it as simple as possible, but just since we're in a public meeting, so everybody hears this, utility bills are going to look different. We're going to have to do the meter reads early in July, because like I just said, we're gonna have to do the final data extraction on the 13th. Normally, the city guys don't start reading till around the 15th of the month. So there's gonna be the bill that goes out in July is gonna have an extra week on it because we're gonna have to read meters. So like I said, there's gonna be some pains, transitioning to this new software, but there's gonna be a lot more functionality with respect to paperless billing, online accounts, and it's just gonna grant us a lot more flexibility, and it's gonna be more user-friendly, I hope, from what I understand, than the software we're using now.
Could that one bill be an estimated bill, Joanne, instead of making it a 5-week one or something? Is that something that can be done or not?
I'm not sure, because that's something that we would have to do in the new software. So
Okay.
what they're gonna do is they're gonna extract all the data on the 13th, and then every transaction that occurs between the 13th and when we go live on the 20th, we're gonna have to do manual records, and then all that's gonna have to be input, once we go live on the 20th. So to answer your question, I have no idea. I mean, I really have no idea what this process is gonna look like. I really prefer to not start out estimating bills, just because I think it's gonna throw a wrench in, pulling non-estimated bills and then trying to pull history, because whenever you estimate a bill, you have to pull it from history. And we're importing history into the new software, but I really don't wanna start off on the very first month estimating a bill. I'm afraid it's gonna throw a wrench in everything.
And we do have a few people that may end up right on that edge of being on the minimum bill and not on the minimum bill. And that extra week in the billing cycle may put them over. And we've had that happen on a couple different occasions with a couple of different people. It's not something that happens a lot, but
there's a handful of people.
There's a handful of people that just, for some reason, they tend to ride right at that minimum bill, and an extra day or two will put them over. And I don't know if there's a lot we can do about that, but a week may put several people over. So we may have to adjust, at least for people that are within, whatever that week is for the minimum bill. We may have to make some adjustments there.
Okay.
Most people it's probably not going to affect because they're going to get the minimum bill no matter what.
Yeah.
But there may be a handful of people that it may be enough to put them over. And I don't think we want to charge people extra just because it took us an extra week to get the bills out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But we'll figure that out once we go live. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of details that we need to work through.
Okay.
Okay, anything else on that?
No.
Okay, we've already covered the Davis Wayne Township fire coverage contract. We'll go ahead. The next thing on the agenda is the Attica Vacation Rentals rezoning request from APC. It doesn't sound like the Area Plan Commission has a recommendation for the city council for tonight as they continued their meeting. So do we need to open a hearing here tonight for that, for the council?
We have to open a meeting, the hearing, for both the petitions. One of them got through the planning commission on
Yes.
Perry Street.
Yes.
The other one just needs to be opened, and Kyle was here. I don't know if everybody saw his presentation at 4 o'clock to the Plan Commission, but he said if you want him to do it again, or if there are new people here that haven't seen that, to know what's going on at the Attica Elementary School on that petition that was continued by the Plan Commission to June 15th. He's available to do that.
So can we go ahead and move forward with and I'll look at the council when I say this, can we go ahead and move forward with the trailer park rezoning request from Attica Vacation Rentals first, and then we
Yes.
can move
Go
forward?
for it, yeah.
Yes.
So we'll go ahead and bring that one from the table and we'll start that hearing.
So what this petition is, the west side trailer park, west side of Perry Trailer Park was rezoned from M2 industrial to R3. And it was put into a residential development plan for up to 18 units. On the east side of Perry Street, about the same size parcel, about 2.5 acres, what is zoned suburban residential and was approved for a residential development plan for up to 18 units. Mr. Nospis purchased Christopher Wilson's parcels, two parcels that were at the south end of the trailer park on the west side of Perry. He's asking to rezone those two parcels are still industrial. Rezone those to R3 to match the trailer park portion to the north, and to rezone the suburban district on the east side of Perry from suburban to R3 so that all of that matches. And also to extend the residential development plan on the west side of Perry that is up to 18 units to go up to 20 units, potentially two more units on the Christopher Wilson real estate. Three things: rezone Christopher Wilson's old real estate, rezone the east side of Perry Street, and expand the residential development plan on the west side from 18 to 20. Those are the three things he asked in that Perry Street.
I just had one question. It's not really a part of that, but since there's going to be 36, so what, 38 units then, are those going to be individually metered with water? I asked Eric that. He thought that was the case, but I just wanted to ask that.
That's a good question.
So basically, currently, it's 3 meters. So as we're basically starting over with all the utilities, so it'll be all new sewer, all new water. We're gonna build it out so that it can eventually be turned over where each one will have a meter. But we'll also have the one main meter at the street.
So then each property out there, the 38 or whatever, each one will have a meter on it then?
Yes.
An individual meter? Okay.
So, but those will be your meters, or they will pay a city water bill?
They're essentially our meters at some point, but I've been working with Eric, so we're doing the build out just like it was the city. So at any point, you guys could have it and charge each person independently.
That's good.
Okay. Because like our trash pickup is tied to your water bill. So if each individual person's not paying a water bill, they're not going to get city trash pickup services there.
Correct. And since we're doing the build out where it can be long-term residents, that's why I was working with Eric to do it like that. So that basically we could hand it over and you would have that. And you
That
would be able
ability
to
later.
do the meter and deposits also.
Each one will have its own address then, correct? Basically,
Yeah, and I have.
Somehow.
Yeah, essentially that really all the trailers there had their own addresses anyway. So
Yes.
it'll be very similar.
Yeah.
Do you have a price tag on that project? What was it, 40 some, 50 grand per house or something? So it's a $2 million project probably.
It's pushing 3 to 4, yeah.
Okay, 3 to
Because
4.
some of the houses are 100, 150 bucks.
I see, okay. That's all.
I know initially you talked to one single one for around about 65 time you set them up.
Yeah,
The small
it'll be
ones,
the
yeah.
smallest
Yes.
ones will be in that
In that,
range,
yeah.
and the high end. Yeah.
That's good.
I personally don't have any reservations. I think that this is a one that he's going to do real well with, and he's got my backing.
So is that a motion?
I can make a motion.
Okay.
Yeah, I make a
I'll
motion.
second the motion.
Have a motion, a second, to approve the rezoning of the parcels.
2 copies there.
Do I have a vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. And I'm just looking for the signature pages.
It's been a long legal description.
I don't show.
That should be part of.
So I'm gonna hold that way, if you don't mind handing it down that way, so Johnny needs to sign that.
Jimmy need to sign it too.
There's 2 of them, there's one on the one on the back too, Johnny.
Oh, is it gonna be, is it, or is it going to probably do it when it's set?
I had was the one that Ingrid asked me to.
So that'll be another one.
Yeah, there should be 2 copies there, so the back page on the last one as well.
Oh, yeah, there is.
Okay, I didn't give one to you because it was one short.
That's why we're short.
I know, yes.
It's just too loud,
Yeah,
so.
we're high too, so we're catching.
You send it around here? Thanks, boss. That'll be A, because she's gonna have a number B.
This is for. I'm not bringing it in, that's a later thing.
What is it?
The surplus property, that's.
Oh, that's
still on
coming
your-
later.
on your agenda.
So then the next one would be the school property.
So on the school property, I asked the mayor to open the hearing on it because it's been advertised and there were people that wanted to be heard. And the planning commission did it the same, is I think doing it the same way where they continued it out to June 15th at 5 o'clock to allow people to come and everybody have an opportunity to hear. And since you've opened this hearing, you will need to announce a date when you're gonna take this up again, or I will need to go back and redo the notifications. And this meeting shouldn't be adjourned if you're going to continue it to another date. Because this meeting ends on that future date.
I was gonna throw this out and see what you guys think, but if the zoning committee is going to meet next Monday, a week from today, would it be unreasonable for us to meet the week after?
I'm tapped. I'm tapped for June, really. I am. And then even the first part of July.
I'd rather
I think
go
the
into
first
July.
that I could do it would be the 14th, actually following the city council meeting, since we don't get into our business
Of July?
of July, the 14th of July. Yeah.
I'd probably rather see a July date myself.
Yeah.
I don't
That put them back to back.
I do not want us to drag this out to
I
July.
don't want to drag it out either.
And I don't want to drag it out for the citizens either, you know, and Kyle and.
Well, I think there's a lot that needs to happen though, in order to make sure that we get this right.
Figure 4 weeks. I'd put it on the 6th.
Of July?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the week of 4th.
I'd like to get it done a little sooner, but do we
I think
need?
people will still be on vacation
I
July
think
Is
6th.
there some reason we can't do it the week after next?
I'm
Yeah,
not
that's
in
pretty
town.
soon.
Say let's,
I'm not in
it's 2
town.
weeks. It's,
Pretty soon.
I mean,
I
2
think-
weeks, I mean, we're doing the same thing. We're gathering from information. Kyle presented to the APC. You all are here to hear that. We're going to hear from citizens next week on the 15th. It will also be on YouTube so that everybody can listen to that if somebody cannot happen to make it. After we hear those things, we open it up for questions for everybody to hear. You also can ask questions at any time. I don't really see why we can't, I mean, I don't know why we need to keep.
I definitely don't want to drag it out.
I mean, I understand you can't be here, Johnny, but we have meetings without council members all the time.
Yeah, I'd like to be here for that one, and I really think that the week of our council meeting in July is not unreasonable, considering this is such a large project. And we've got, all kinds of zoning issues. We've got petitions from, trying to file injunctions and all kinds of stuff. And I don't think that this is a quick one. I really don't. I think we need to take our time to really evaluate it.
So you're wanting to handle this on our regular meeting?
No, I would say
I
if
don't
we
think
can't do
we
it then,
can.
and so we don't get in our business way. If we can do it, I'm okay. But I was thinking the 14th, next day.
That's a Tuesday. I think we have
We don't have a board of works, though. If the regular council meeting's on the 13th, Doug, can you continue a council meeting until after the next council meeting?
Yes.
The 14th is not a board of works.
okay. So
the APC made time so that we could be heard and that we were doing it where we thought a week was plenty of time for anybody that wanted to come back in to give their opinions, positive or negative. That gave them plenty of time. I don't see the reason to stay in limbo for over a month for anyone involved, including the citizens, to not be able to be heard during that time. And so we're just prolonging something
Kaylee,
that doesn't need to be had.
have you actually read the proposal that was submitted to the school? Have you read it?
Okay, I'm talking about the timing of this.
Okay.
So that's what I'm
Oh, okay.
discussing right now.
Okay.
So my thought is, I personally do not want to see this move into the second week of July. I personally think that that's crazy. I think that we're not doing, you want to say we're not doing our homework on it or looking into it. I think it's silly that you want to continue to push it out farther I don't want to do that.
I mean, Kaylee, honestly, I had a chance to look at the proposal to the Attica School Corporation and the requirements, okay, and I don't know that the APC actually have reviewed those, but if you did, you'd realize that there are some crazy requirements that have to happen within a 90-day period of time. And if those don't happen, then, there's no deal. And I really honestly think that we should be reviewing the proposal that was written to the school corporation.
But we don't have anything to do with the purchase of it. We don't own it. We literally are only doing the zoning portion.
Understand, if we approve this, then it becomes our problem, because then they take the bag of money and run, and then the city has all the problems. We have to work on the infrastructure. We have to marry up with everything
Security
there.
for the
Secure
city.
everything, the flow of traffic, logistics, technical. I mean, this is a big project.
Water
And I'm not
usage.
saying I'm not going to back you, Kyle, on it. Okay, but I'm saying that we need to have proper time in order to work through it. Now, we just got done approving your trailer park one, and but I'm telling you, it's happening too fast, in my opinion. And I'm not saying I'm pumping the brakes, but I honestly think though that this is a big project.
I don't think anybody disagrees.
I got a question to the citizens who live across the street. Do you think 2 weeks is enough?
I haven't had enough time. I put everything I put together in 4 days. I've not went to work. I've lost wages and everything else. I got to get back to work. There's a lot of work to be done. I don't think that this has been reviewed properly by anyone. No one knew about this. Did anyone know anything about this until I brought it up? Anybody?
Not till I got the letter.
Did you, how many council members, Mr. Mayor, did you know about this before I came to you? Did you, anybody?
Memorial Day.
you did.
Memorial Day was when we heard about it, and
Can I ask
yeah.
a question? Is it out, I guess, too much to ask that we can have a meeting that's not a council meeting?
I'd like the town hall.
With the citizens that have concerns to sit with Kyle and ask, so it's not taking up council time.
That probably should have happened maybe a couple of months in the past, I think.
guess where we're at is, it feels rushed. It feels like, I think the citizens, I'm not gonna speak for everybody, I feel like the timing of the letter, the amount of work it takes to get the information, to understand what's going to happen, all of the things that, the pretty pictures to look at.
Maybe if,
It's hurried.
maybe if
Very
we,
hurried, and I feel like it was trying to be hurried so that this did not happen. I honestly feel like we hadn't all came to that meeting tonight the zoning board, it would have been put through. And
Maybe,
then we would have all been going, what happened?
maybe if we
So-
got that time to where some citizens might give some more info, maybe more might be on board for this project as well. I mean,
And we're,
that's-
we're in the middle of holidays and everything, and this thing's moving fast, and it's a big ticket
I
item.
just feel like we have lots of questions that respectfully, for him to be able to answer, because tonight, during that zoning board meeting, there was not time for him to answer questions. There was not time for him, so instead of taking up city council's time, is it too much to ask to give us some time to gather some information? Maybe he has more time to come up with a presentation. We can ask questions in a setting where
I think outside the council, that
Outside.
would be up to you guys and Kyle to facilitate a meeting of some kind. We feel free to schedule this room, but the city council can't have a meeting where we're all together and have a quorum and decide anything. But you all are welcome to have a meeting and.
How much time do you guys think you need to be able to accomplish that?
I need time. In 4 days, I was able to get 40 petitions signed from my direct neighborhood and everything in that area. I have not had time, and there has been no public notice to all of this, for me to talk to the town of Attica, the community as a whole, because this does not just affect me. We are trying to build a beautiful downtown right now, and if anybody in this room thinks this is not gonna take things away from the downtown, well, prove me wrong, as Charlie Kirk would say, because it will. And, you know, I need time. I need a little bit of time to talk to the people. there's a lot of people around here. I need time to let them know. I mean, if you can get me to the middle of July for a council meeting, and maybe I can work with you guys and Kyle to put together some type of town hall style thing so that all of us can come in here, and maybe Kyle can explain how this is gonna work and how he's going to guarantee that this is good for our community and not just private businesses. That, I mean, honestly, the thing is, the Badlands, honestly, I mean, you wanna help us out, Kyle? Help us out by annexing you into the city and actually paying some money to us from the Badlands. You got our water already, man. I mean, I'm gonna stop now because I'm very emotional about this, because my livelihood is about ready to be taken away.
Okay, yeah, Chet, yeah, it's like, Kyle, one of the things that I think is missing in this process, for at least for me, and when you see a big commercial development, a lot of times, you know, I see your daughter sitting right next to you, but normally you see a banker sitting right next to you when you're going after one of these things. And the banker, okay, is the one that gives us the confidence, because the banker is the one that's went through the wicket and actually looked at your 5-year plans and
But
looked
that's
at.
not for us to decide.
Yeah, that's.
I'm
not
telling you
our
what,
business.
it's gonna take.
But that's not for us to
No,
decide.
no, wait,
The
but it's a
council-
factor.
Just
It's a
finances aren't
factor.
a
But that's
question
not
of
what we're
doing
discussing.
here.
We're
But-
talking about changing the zoning of that building, and that's what we're going on.
Uh-huh.
That's what we have to
But
do.
again, Kate.
But that's your opinion,
No,
Johnny.
Kate, no,
That's
no,
your
Kaylee,
opinion.
Kaylee, the facts are though,
No,
that if you
it's
look
your
at, no,
opinion.
if you look at,
No,
well,
it's
that's
your
why, Kaylee, let me
opinion.
finish.
It was his
The-
opinion.
If you look at the proposal to the city, or the school board, or to the school board, there are 4 different clauses there that are written, and each one of them are egregious, okay?
Okay.
And
We're not talking about his finances. Sir, state your name, please.
My name is John Graves. I live down in 607, I live down in Ravine Park Boulevard. It is important that the council knows what is going on. It is your business to know the details, because it does affect. Yes, it affects this gentleman and those living right by the school directly, but it's going to affect me who's just a few blocks away. Because I still have to drive down the main drag to get to my place of business. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of major impacts.
I
But no, you don't. That's just it. I'm sorry for raising my voice and yelling.
You need to be
Your-
saying
your
that to
time's
me.
about-
I'm sorry.
Yeah, your time's
You
about
need to be
ready to
saying that to me
stop.
because you just raised your voice to me.
I'm
Your
sorry.
time's running out.
Okay. You're saying you have this arrogance, and I've noticed from the beginning when he asked you a question and you jumped right back at him.
I personally
Oh,
don't
no.
have to listen to you sit here and
You-
berate me.
you
over
have-
Your
something.
time is up, sir. Sit down.
You're done.
We
You're
need
done.
to listen and
You're
examine
done,
all
sir.
the paperwork.
Sir, you're done. Your time's up.
Now, my question still hasn't been answered here. What's an appropriate amount of time that's fair to you guys and fair to Kyle as well to be able to figure this out?
I would like to have at least 2 months. That's what I would like.
2 months? That
Yeah.
seems
I don't
quite
have a
dragging
lot of
it out.
I thought
to me.
August,
That's what I'm asking.
I thought August was reasonable, actually,
Kyle?
considering this.
I thought August is very good.
I think with a building, that if you ask anybody that's been in the building needs stabilized. Okay, and and look, I'm trying to be fully transparent. Look, I just want to give a little bit of facts. 107,000 views on that post that I made personally on my Facebook. 107,000 views. Okay, I know it's not a scientific poll, but I love to use these little icons right here. Okay, I get it, and I understand the point, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful. The thing that I just kind of want to make sure that we're talking, and I'm not trying to be arrogant. If you look at that contract, the one thing that's not in that contract is a contingency on financing.
Mhm.
So just put that.
Why is it? But
Because
why?
it's not our
Because the contract's
business.
on.
Business.
Well, yeah, but.
It's not our
okay,
business.
I looked, can I,
I'll listen.
okay, so I looked at some of the documents, Kyle, and it said that you were buying it through KSK Properties,
Yep.
okay? When I looked at KSK Properties, they were funded, or they were actually created back in 2025 in July, okay? Now, all the paperwork says that it's gonna be Attica Recreation Rentals. I don't care what company you do it through, but we're hammering this paperwork through, and what LLC is it gonna be? Okay, and I know this is work in progress, man, and listen, I'm not saying I'm not gonna back you, okay, but I'm just saying that what I think is reasonable, what I think is reasonable for the citizens to get comfortable.
And I get that. So I'm not trying to be hostile to anyone by any means. I just think there's a balance point
So maybe
where there's a reasonable amount of time and excessive amount of time. And the only thing I also, like, personal financials isn't relative to this.
No, I don't want your personals.
Okay.
I just want the banker sitting next to you and say that you got a line of credit for $4 million. Because you got one project that's $4 million that we just
All right.
approved, and
I
now you
already
got
knew when
another
you-
one.
You clicked that. I
What
knew
right
where
do
your
you have
head.
to see his financials?
Yeah, we're moving on from that. I'm not
Because we
listening to
have to
any more
have
of that.
confidence that he can pull it off.
So,
No.
Well, you're talking to me.
Hey.
Okay,
Everybody,
enough of this, or else
sir,
I'm gonna ask
if
you to
you open
be.
your mouth
Enough of
again,
what?
I'm gonna
I'm
ask the
asking
police officer to
questions.
take
Enough
you
of
out,
it.
okay? We gotta get this under control. We can't just shoot from the hip here. Sorry.
So if I'm, may,
how about
I just ask that we put this in 2 categories. That's all I'm asking. And so there's a zoning petition, and I respect that. That is on behalf of, like, that needs to be heard.
Mhm.
The purchase agreement between the school and I is immaterial. We can extend, I could walk away now if I don't get my approval. That's between us. That's irrelevant to this particular here. The zoning is what we're
But
after.
there are 4 different things on that actually
So what
are
do you
requirement of us, right? I think that
30
actually
days.
Eric
That's
needs to
fine.
go
Six
down and
weeks.
inspect things. If
I
that
think
doesn't
30
happen,
days is a norm. That's fine.
On what basis?
well, I think on the contract,
agree.
I can pull it up and look at it. But again,
Somebody
I think
mentioned something about abatements.
abatements.
Nobody has asked the city of Attica for an abatement. I know nothing about an abatement. If they made some kind of agreement with the school for an abatement, that's on them. That's not on us. We're not responsible for any abatement. All we've got to do at this point in time is decide whether it's going to be approved for the rezoning or not. And I do need to say this, and I think a lot of people don't understand. So I'll say this up front. All this council will decide is yes or no. We cannot put restrictions on it. We cannot say, if you'll do this, we'll approve it. If you don't do this, we won't approve it. Basically, it is a yes or no proposition. The only people that can issue any kind of restricted use would be the Board of Zoning Appeals. So if we turn it down as a council, if you turn it down as a council, I say we, but if you turn it down as a council, Kyle could go to the Board of Zoning Appeals, and then they could put all the restrictions on it that they want. They could say that, you've got operating hours, you've got, you can't play music after this time. They could put whatever restrictions they want on it. But this council and the zoning board cannot put restrictions on the rezoning.
But we can
And
ask
everybody needs
questions.
to understand
Right,
that.
right, yeah, and I agree with that.
Okay.
But we also, as a council members, can ask questions.
Absolutely.
And I'm telling Kyle what would make me comfortable. And I'm not trying to start a riot here. I'm just telling him what would make me comfortable. If there's a banker that comes in and says he's got a $4 million line of credit, okay, I'm in.
Okay.
Drop
so-
the money thing. It's not our
No,
business.
no.
Please
It's it helps with decision making.
But that's up to you. But it's not appropriate for.
I'm not going to require that you bring in a banker here, dude.
It's not okay. And you know what?
And if you do
Kudos
bring him
to you
in, make
because
sure he looks
that's-
like the Monopoly
Kudos
guy.
to you. They are your legacy, Kyle, and they should be by your side. So good for you for being in business with your children to have them be there.
So
Okay,
can
so-
we maybe think about
How about a
the
date?
next, the
Johnny
next council meeting?
threw out July 14th.
Yeah,
Fine, do
Well,
July
that's about a
14th.
month.
Would that work okay, Kyle?
Are you good with the month?
He's-
You good with the month then? You're the 14th?
July 14th
Okay.
would be our next council meeting to discuss this.
Chad, that worked pretty well for you as well, month?
Do we have,
I'll make a motion to,
we have a motion
Yeah.
to
What time?
continue this to July 14th,
Fifth, 14th,
6
14th.
p.m.
6 o'clock.
I'll
Yeah.
second.
July 14th.
Have a
6
second?
p.m.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you. We'll
6
continue
o'clock.
this until July 14th at 6 p.m.
Turn that AC on here.
Okay, moving forward. The next thing on our agenda is 504 South Union Street. I sent this out to everybody, including a map showing where it was. I had a citizen come in who owns some property in that area that would be interested in buying this, and I told him what the procedure was. We have to declare it as surplus property. It has to go up for basically bids. So anybody that wants to bid on it can put it in, and we'll have a minimum bid set based on the appraised value of the property. And is there any interest in declaring this as surplus property?
Well, that individual, if it's the one I'm thinking of, impressive what he's done down there with a couple of properties that were definitely in bad shape. And he approached me to asking if the city had anything. And I said, well, I know that we've got that one sitting there, and I recommended him go to City Hall. So if it's that same guy.
Probably is. He owns those apartments down there.
Reyes, yeah,
Really
I
nice.
like him. Yeah, and he's a capable carpenter too. So I'll make a motion to move this from surplus.
Have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Have a motion, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna let Johnny start out with this because you made the motion. Who made the motion?
John made it.
Okay. Because we need to put on the front there what we think the property's worth. If read that,
Yeah. What do
the
you
first
think?
page there.
What do you think?
Is 14.
You want to do 14 or you want to mark it up a little higher?
I'd say 14 would be a good starting place. Yeah.
Do I need to put 14 in as the appraised value?
Put your name in the appraised value,
Yeah.
yes, please.
That's the second copy.
That's the second copy.
Oh, there's two copies here. I'm sorry. Hand that down to you if you would, please.
Do I need to sign that backside too?
Were you made the
Please.
motion?
Yes, since you made that, you're sponsoring council member.
Does any other council member want to give a second appraisal? It could be the same number, but I need a second council member to give their opinion about
Who
it.
seconded?
I did.
Give it to Nate then.
And that'll end with the letter B. That's the second thing that was passed in the paperwork. You can use that.
Oh, okay.
I can-
Do I need to sign these too?
I do, I
Yes.
think you have to go back in his office.
So you're saying you won't take money from it? She's gonna realize that it's successful.
Thank you. Okay, we'll do a final council roundtable. Mr. Roderick, do you have anything, sir?
No, I was just gonna mention, played pickleball a couple mornings and seen a lot of kids over there at the park program. It was really nice to see, and everybody's having a good time at Ravine Park. I know that.
They came by the office here the other day when they come back from, I think they've been down to Devon, and they just kept coming and kept coming and kept
There's
coming.
a bunch of them.
There was a bunch of them. Mr. Smith,
I'm fine, thank you.
Mr. Pointer,
I don't think I have anything to update.
thank you.
Move
Mr.
on.
Moss,
Love our department heads. You guys are my heroes.
Mrs. Carnahan,
I want to just say, I'm not sure if I give off a feeling of, hey, you can talk to me however you want, but that's not okay. I demand respect, just like anybody sitting around here and just like anybody out here. Just because I'm a woman, just because I am younger than any of you, it doesn't matter. I give you respect. I listen to you. I ask questions. But I deserve respect just like everyone beside me and everyone out here.
thank you.
Yes, you do.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Love you, Kevin.
Our next regular meeting is scheduled for July 13th. And then, of course, this meeting will be continued to July 14th. So we are not going to adjourn this meeting. Is that correct?
Correct. That's correct. Larry, what time you want to do it on the 14th?
I had 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. With that, that's it, everybody. Thank you.
Folders.
Huh?
There's 2 meetings on the 14th.
I said you're a Valkyrie. Okay, we'll have to work around it.